Disclaimer: this is not a how-to. Betty Chronicles is just purely documentation of the struggles of a beginner baker. Previously on Betty Chronicles.
Last video, I started off by saying that this video was going to be a video where I wouldn't mess up anything. And you would have seen that even in the end, I end up doing exactly what I said I wasn't going to do. I'm going to say that again with the intention of making sure that I do not mess up anything. And now I'm going to try my cookie. I want to give myself a pat on the back because, like, first of all, I deserve it. Hey guys, welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Diavion Johnson and I'm bringing you another video. Okay, so in this video, y'all can see I'm obviously in the kitchen. I decided to cut off the lights, put on a ring light. I wanted to also go ahead and show you guys one of the things I'm gonna be making for Thanksgiving, and that's gonna be chocolate chip cookies. So I'm not gonna have 15 million years and different times to be baking cookies. Right now I'm off. Right now I'm gonna go ahead and do my job. Okay, so if y'all want to see that, stay tuned and keep on watching. And also, shameless plug, if y'all want to see me actually whip it up and do some actual food, check out my series called Chef Boyardian. Okay, but if y'all want to see me do bacon, then stick on this video and watch my other videos where it's called Betty Chronicles: The Struggles of a Beginner Baker. Okay, let's get started. Okay guys, so I am back, and as y'all can see, it's a whole different day. It's really a whole week later. I was supposed to show you guys me making chocolate chip cookies. I really was going to prep them for Thanksgiving. I actually did make the chocolate chip cookies the day before Thanksgiving, but I didn't record that because it was like way too late and I had got off of work late and stuff like that. So I'm coming on today to show y'all how I did the chocolate chip cookies. People like the chocolate chip cookies. But the thing about it is, every time I get a good recipe, I never save that recipe. So I don't know exactly what I did, but I kind of mixed two recipes together like I did last time and hope for the best. So I'm just going to do what I do, and if that's the case, then I'm going to kind of like keep this recipe, kind of have it in my mindset, because like I said, I mixed two recipes together. I just want to get straight into doing the cookies. So I'm going to show you guys what I already have prepped, so that this video won't be too long. All right guys, so in this bowl right here, this is where I'm going to be mixing up my wet ingredients and stuff like that. Right here I have sugar and brown sugar. I end up putting like 1 to 1/3 cup of granulated sugar, and I end up putting 1 cup of brown sugar. Now, like I said, some of the recipes, they call for different quantities of sugar. One recipe called for majority brown sugar and then like a 1/2 cup of regular sugar, and then some recipes call for like more white sugar and a little bit of brown sugar. But I noticed that the more brown sugar you put in the cookie, the chewier it is. And then also you don't want to just have mainly brown sugar, then you do regular sugar. Like, you need both, because if you don't have both, the sugar helps the cookie to be sweet, and then the molasses in the brown sugar allows for the cookie to be a lot more chewy and stuff like that. So you still can get sweetness with just brown sugar, but it won't be as sweet as if you use granulated sugar. So moving on from that little baking lesson or whatever, let me go to my dry ingredients. So in my dry ingredients, I have 3 cups of flour, I have 1 teaspoon of baking soda, and I have 1 teaspoon of salt. So that's basically all I have in there. I didn't sift any items like I did for the last cookies, and you can do it if you want to. And if you don't have a sifter like I had, you can just use a whisk and you can just whip it up or something like that, you know. So basically that's what I have for the dry ingredients, and you know, I'm going to actually get started mixing up for you guys. Okay, so for the dry ingredients, I'm just going to just stir this up to kind of like mix up the salt and the baking soda. Now, like when it comes to, you know, baking soda and baking powder, I think baking soda is not as strong as baking powder. So if you wanted to make your own type of baking powder with baking soda, you would have to use cream of tartar or something like that, which I told y'all I had to like a problem with that when I was doing those lemon cupcakes, because I forgot I didn't have baking powder. But like everything else that I bake usually calls for baking soda. So the one time I need baking powder, I don't have it. So now I have baking soda. This is all it calls for. I'm just stirring that together. You really don't even have to stir that together, but I just want it to be like, you know, I don't know, mixed together once I put it into the wet ingredients. The most thing that is going to have like a lot of mixing or something like that is going to be the wet ingredients. The dry ingredients, you're just going to pour into the wet ingredients and then, you know, mix it all together. This is going to be a pretty quick, you know, recipe. Okay, first off, I'm supposed to cream together the sugar with 2 sticks of butter. All right, so it's supposed to be room temperature because, you know, with sticks of butter, if you already have it in the refrigerator, it's going to be a lot harder, and it's going to be a lot harder for you to mix it up and stuff, especially if you're mixing up by hand. You want to have your butter a little bit softer so it can be a little bit easier on you, and then the sugar can mix up a little bit more and it won't be as grainy when you're done with the cookie. So I'm going to pop these in the microwave. You can either let it sit out for a little bit and let it get softer, or if you just want to speed it up, I would just probably put it in a microwave for probably like 15 seconds, 10 seconds. I don't know. Like, we're going to try and we're going to see it. Okay, I can't believe I just forgot that fast, but I believe I warmed this up for 15 seconds. Okay, so it's pretty soft right now. It's not like super soft, but it's like pretty soft. So I'm just going to open it and just put it in here, okay? Oh yeah, make sure y'all hands are washed. Like, I don't know if I have to say that, but just in case y'all need to know, if you're not the only person that's gonna be eating these cookies, like, make sure your hands is washed. All right. So I got the butter in there. Now, if you at this point, if you look at the butter and you feel like the butter needs to be a little bit softer, I could just tell you just pop it in the microwave just for a little bit longer if you want to. But I think it's okay for right now. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to mix it up with this electric mixer. Now, if you don't have an electric mixer and you just like, oh man, I gotta do all these tools to make some cookies, well, you don't have to. At first, I was just doing it with a spoon. I was just, you know, whipping it up. Like, but if you don't want to do all that and you want to actually use your hands, then you could just like work on your arm muscles and stuff like that, because that's what you're gonna have to do if you don't have an electric mixer. Now, if you also have one of those bowl mixers, like those standing mixers, you can also do that. But I don't know. I guess I feel like a little bit more intimate with this. And plus, I also don't want to wash any more dishes. So yeah, I'm okay with just washing these 2 things. Okay, so I did end up putting it back up in the microwave for a little bit longer. I was only supposed to put it in there for like 10 more seconds, but I end up letting it go up to the entire 30 seconds. So my stuff is a little bit runny now, but it's all right. It's still going to mix up like it's supposed to. So I'm going to show you guys me mixing it up, speed past this part, and that's it. Okay, so once you kind of cream together the butter with the sugar, you're of course going to need to like cream this together a little bit more, but you can start adding your eggs. Now, the recipe calls for 2 eggs, and I'm also going to add some pure vanilla extract in there. Now, I got the Great Value. If you want to go all out and buy the McCormick, you can, but for 2 fluid ounces, McCormick is $8 something. So if you want to go the cheaper route, go ahead and pick you up some Great Value. All right. So basically, I'm going to put this together. Like I said, if you up in here and you like real live mixing it up with your hand, make it easy on yourself. Make that butter as soft as you need to, okay? Now, like I said, your stuff is going to be a lot runnier in the beginning before you start adding stuff, because your butter is a little bit more melted, but that's okay. And also with the brown sugar, if you have light brown sugar, you can add light brown sugar. Most recipes call for light brown sugar, but I have dark brown sugar. Okay, so now I'm going to start adding the dry ingredients. Now, by this point, if you want to kind of taste your batter to see if you need to add more sugar, you can do that. Now, I was told that you're not supposed to, well, I wasn't told, I read somewhere that you're not supposed to eat the batter before it's cooked if it has an egg in it. So you probably could have tasted the batter with the butter and stuff, but of course it was just butter and sugar then, so it doesn't really make any sense. You can taste it right now, or you can taste it when you add the flour. Just know once you add the flour, it's not going to be as sweet as it is when you first taste it right here. So I would recommend just waiting until you add the flour to do that. Also, if I usually wait till the very end and hope for the best with my cookies. So if it don't turn out right, usually my problem isn't with the taste, it's the problem of did I forget to add baking soda, or did I put the cookies too close together and it's too runny and it's spread out too much. So that's basically what my problem is. It's never really the taste for me personally. Now, if you ask somebody else, then you know they may have a different story, but that's usually how I feel about what goes wrong with my cookies. So I'm going to start adding the dry ingredients, and then the next thing you're going to see me do is start adding like the chocolate chips, and then also in another little batch of cookies, I'm going to add some walnuts and chocolate chips for my mom. This is off to the side because I told you guys I was going to put some walnuts and chocolate chips in this batch, and then I'm going to just do regular chocolate chip cookies on this side. Now I don't mind nuts, but like sometimes I get really tired of nuts after a while and just want it to be a regular chocolate chip cookie. That's why I decided to just make some to the side for my mom. Now after I ripped everything together, you obviously can tell that this really isn't a lot. So this is probably going to make about 18 to 24 cookies, depending on how big your cookies are. So here I am. I'm just putting the chocolate chips in there. Usually chocolate chips, you probably will put like 1 cup or something like that. But I'm just going off of what I feel is right. This is what it looks like right now. I'm going to fold in the chocolate chips. You don't want to use a hand mixer at this point, because then you'll start breaking the chocolate up in there, and it'll start like making that swirly look like you kind of melted chocolate in your cookie dough before you baked it, you know? So yeah. So I'm done with my batter. This is the one with just chocolate chips in there, and this is the one with chocolate chips and walnuts. Now I tried to make sure I put a lot of chocolate chips in my mom's stuff, so I was like folding it and stuff like that, and then was like, oh wait, that's too much tin, let me put some more chocolate chips in there. So if it's not enough chocolate chips, I mean, it's oh well. And then also I put some walnuts in there, and I got these walnuts from Walmart. As y'all can see, it was just chopped walnuts. I didn't do the halves and pieces and stuff like that. If you do pecans, they have halves and pieces. I didn't do that because I didn't want it to be like too big. I kind of crushed it up just a little bit more, but like I was doing a lackluster job, so I don't know if I really did anything to it. But I'm basically gonna start forming the balls so I can put it on my baking sheets. And if y'all already know, I already told y'all how I feel about parchment paper compared to wax paper. Once I realized that what I was using was wax paper, and that's the reason why you couldn't put it in the oven, I fell in love with parchment paper because that's what I was supposed to be putting in the oven. So if y'all have parchment paper, put parchment paper. If y'all don't, then just grease up y'all's baking sheet and just put it in the oven. But you probably have to be mindful that it'll probably be a little bit harder to take off of the baking sheet. Okay, so basically I have my oven preheated to 350. While I'm doing this, it's probably going to go off, and then I can just put it on in there. I'm going to put one sheet where it has the mixture with the walnuts, and then one with the regular mixture. Okay, and then after I'm done with the one with the walnuts, I'm just going to make the rest of the cookies. Okay, so basically I just take a spoon. You could take like a ice cream scoop or something like that. I don't really, you see my oven just went off. Okay, so I use a spoon to pick up my dough. I don't really like measure out like how much dough I'm getting. Some cookies will be bigger than the others, so if you want yours to be a perfect size, then you'll have to like figure out something to do it with. Now, if you want to put flour on your hand, you can, but just know that you're putting more flour in the dough. If that's okay with you, then you know, do you. Basically this is what my first cookie looks like. It's kind of like right here in the palm of my hand. That is kind of like a big cookie, but you know, it is what it is. I'm gonna just go ahead and put it down because I already put it in there. But like once I'm done with all the cookies, if I felt like that one was too big, I'll just change it. Okay, So on these cookie sheets, I probably put like 6 cookies on the cookie sheet. Like I don't put try to fit 12 cookies on the cookie sheet anymore, because I realized that once they start baking together, they start looking ugly, and they can also start looking like a sheet cake or like a sheet cookie, and I don't want that. Like if I'm trying to make individual cookies. So I'm just gonna go ahead and put this on there. This is what the other ball looks like. It's probably like almost the size of my palm, but not that big, okay? So yeah. Okay, so I've done 6 of the regular cookies. Now I'm gonna go ahead and I'm going to do 6 of the walnut ones too. Honestly, I gave my mom a little bit too many cookies. Too many cookies in my opinion, because like, does she really need like a whole 12 cookies or something like that to enjoy the walnuts? So I probably could have put less in hers. Probably only gave her like 6 to 8 cookies, but it is what it is. I already done did it. I already done put the nuts in there, so she gonna have it now. Okay, so after these first batches of cookies, I'm just gonna complete the rest off camera. I don't think y'all really need to see me like make all of the cookies and put it on a sheet, but basically I'm going to pop them in an oven, and then I'm going to maybe bake them for about 8 to 10 minutes and then check on them. And I kind of like know if I want to take it off if it seems like a little bit brown around the edges. So I'm not going to cook it too long, but I'm going to probably cook it to 8 to 10 minutes and then start checking on it. Okay guys, so this is what my cookies look like out of the oven. This is the last batch of cookies, and I decided to cook these a little bit for a shorter period of time. Instead of cooking it for like 12-13 minutes, I end up cooking it for just like 11 or 12 minutes. And basically you could put it in there for a little bit longer if you want it to be already kind of like harder at the bottom, just a little bit like, you know, together at the bottom, because you have to wait until these actually cool down before you can even touch these, because they'll start falling apart. So I decided to do this one for a less amount of time in this batch. And then over here, these cookies right here, these have been cooling for a little bit, but basically these are like a darker bottom and stuff like that. And I cooked these for the 12 to 13 minutes and they still came out good. I feel as though the reason why my cookies this time are not as thick as they were last time is because of the butter. And I told you guys how I warmed up the butter a little bit longer than I was originally trying to. So since I did that, it allowed my since my butter was a lot more liquidy and I had more of a liquidy base, it was able to spread out a little bit more. So keep that in mind. If you want your butter to be a little bit more intact and you want your cookie to be not spread out as much, you may want to just let it get to room temperature, and then that's it. So basically that's what my cookies look like, you know. Okay, so as y'all can see, I'm back on camera because I have completed everything. I've completed my cookies. The cookies is back there chilling and cooling down. So last time I made the cookies, which was on Wednesday, the cookies were thicker, and I kind of used the same recipe. Like I said, I kind of guesstimated the recipe last time because I ended up merging 2 recipes together by accident. So the same applies for this one. Now I feel like it's because of the butter. Like I said in the last clip, I feel like because my butter was melted a little bit further than I would have liked, that's the reason why my cookies spread out more, because it was like a wetter dough than it usually is. So thank you guys for getting this far. Hopefully you guys will try out this recipe. Hopefully you guys actually watched the end of the video. If you guys got here, thank you. Don't forget to like, comment, and most definitely subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.